Guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair, in the middle of the class trial. And we were just going to find out about Nagito's right sleeve. I almost said Hajime. I'm getting a little confused here.
Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
But it's really only the end and it's trailed away, so I mean, I guess there would have been some kind of smoke damage.
And Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
How'd he stab himself?
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
That's definitely wrong.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know?
Yeah.
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand.
Ah, that much is obvious.
Well, I mean, not really. You'd have to hold the knife between your fingers and have a really good grip between, like, your four fingers and slowly jab it in. You would have to have, like, fingers of, like really, really strong fingers, but I'm sure you could do it somehow. Not in reality, but...
Hajime, you tricked me! Give me back that Benjamin!
And not only did she try to charge me, now she wants the money back? What the heck?
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
A way to stab yourself in your right hand using only your right hand. There's definitely an answer. Oh, well, if you jab, but if you have it on something, or, you know, hold the knife between your knees, there you go. Gotta prop it up on something. But how? Torture wound, survival knife, blood on the girder. Monokuma panels was caused by the fire.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
Is that how there's blood
If
on
he
the
threw the knife
plushie?
into the air and let the knife fall, could
No.
he stab his hand that way?
You'd have to be really good with aiming.
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Yeah, I mean, that would...
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
I agree with that.
I don't really know how you do it with a Monokuma plushie. I mean, that thing is... It's a stuffed animal. I'm just trying to
Life-size
think.
Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
I'm just thinking, well, that's what explains the hole in it, so there's a thing. But I'm just thinking of a stuffed animal, me jabbing my hand into a nut. I'm just thinking I'm gonna punch the Monokuma plushie in the face and maybe get a scratch on my palm, but I don't think a knife's gonna go all the way through it.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach.
It's fucking crazy.
He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it.
So the knife was in his hand, but not probably all the way through to the floor. Because I mean, I don't know. I guess I was just assuming that, like, it was, like, pinned to the floor. But then again, the floor is probably concrete, so that's not gonna work.
If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
And the hole, like a bullet wound.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
After he did all the rest of the damage.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
I know, right? Isn't it exciting?
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem. The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? There was blood on the girder, right? So... Okay. Well, just trying to think of the order of things. So if he did this to himself, right? Okay, so we know he stabbed himself with his right hand, probably after he stabbed his legs and sliced his left arm and then stabbed his right hand with the plushie. And he's got the duct tape on his mouth so that while he's screaming, because this is obviously going to fucking hurt, no one's going to hear him or anything, plus it's going to look like he was tortured. Did he tie himself up after the fact? But here's my thing. So the spear, if it was wrapped over the girder, because there's a weight on the end, right? But the weight is probably not as much as the spear. So if he was holding on to it and let it go, the spear would slide. You know what I mean? Like, he's holding on to the weight on one end, but if you let it go, the spearhead would be heavier and fall. But how the fuck would you... I'm going to hold on to that, because that would explain why his hand, his left hand, doesn't have any blood on it. And there was, like, as we said, there's a perfect hand-sized print on the thing. You know what I mean? On the end of the spear. Like, the ropey end of the spear. So we already kind of know. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, how he was holding on to that. Like, okay, I stabbed myself. I tied myself up. I did all this. Where's the spear? How is it... How were you holding on to that? Because you didn't, like, loop it over the fact after. So were you holding on to the weighted end? Because if you let go of that, the spear's going to fall. So how are you balancing holding onto the spear while you were stabbing yourself and, like, I'm stabbing myself in the legs and I'm slicing my arm up and then I'm going to prop my hand and then stab and then... I guess. Yeah, so I guess you'd have to rig that up. Hold it while you tied yourself up. One hand, stab yourself in the leg, slice your left arm, use the plushie to jam the knife into your right hand, throw the plushie away, and then let go of the thing with your left hand. So he was holding on to that the whole time he was stabbing himself. I mean, that's commitment. That's all I have to say.
If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito.
He was holding on to it the whole time.
If that's true, how is that possible?
What I just said.
He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
Yep.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
No, because the spear's what killed him.
There is a limit to his constitution.
There's no way a spear in the stomach. Yeah.
If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Kazuichi's face and his dead silence. If you could... Oh my god, this game is so wrong.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
This game is so fucking inappropriate.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Say it one more time. I need you recorded. For reasons.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out.
Oh, fucking perp.
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stab into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
But you were holding it, but he's holding
So
it.
you're saying it's impossible?
Nope.
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that.
That's because none of you want to admit it was you. It's all of you motherfuckers. I'm the only
that
innocent one.
one of us could kill someone with such cruelty. I could never believe that.
There's a part of me wants it to be Sonya just because. Like,
You
bitch!
say you can't believe it?
Like, damn,
you just
girl.
don't want to believe it, right?
But if he's the one who did it, so I don't know. So what's gonna happen?
But that's why you keep getting betrayed
Arrgh.
over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
I'll fucking kill you!
Momonami's sassing me.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far. So this might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
Sounds
I
fishy.
also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
No, come on now.
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
Huh?
I feel that there's
Took me off
some
guard. I
way
was
he
yawning.
could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together.
Aw, let's hold
That's
hands.
how we made it this far up till now.
She's being really fishy.
Everyone working together.
Everyone's being fishy right now. So she's right. We've made it through several ordeals up till now doing that. Then even now.
All right, let's do this.
Blood on the left hand. There was no blood on the
How
left
did
hand, though.
Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
But there was no blood on his left hand, so that's
When the spear
suspicious.
stabbed Nagito,
It's not the duct tape.
his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
Yes.
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
There was no blood on
Then
it,
that
though.
rules out his left hand.
No.
No, that's wrong.
It was tied up, but he was gripping the thing, so no, it doesn't rule out.
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Plus, if he was holding onto the cord, say, and he sliced up his left hand, that explains the blood splatter on his hand, but not on his palm. Because if your hand was tied up and you were stabbing that, if you were splattering your blood everywhere and it got all over your face, it would have gone over your palm, right?
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
Logic. I watch a lot of CSI.
There was something off about his left hand.
Plus, they pretty much hand that to you when they're like, oh, his palm does not have blood on it. And then, there's like a palm-size space where there's no blood on this cord.
The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
Where you would be gripping something.
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description of that bloodstain, but it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Which would be showing if you were holding
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's wrong with that?
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
What was Nagito's left hand doing? Hiding. Oh, wait, why is I not? Oh, I'm sitting on the wrong button.
I see.
I was like, where's my thing?
When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear.
Now that
His
you mention
front
it,
tail.
compared to the
Yes.
rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild.
Because he got off on the fact that he was stabbing himself in the leg. That's just a typical Tuesday night for
He
him.
probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
Mild.
But even if he held the spear with his tied up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
No, because it was whipped over the thing. But also, he kept his wounds mild. Yeah, I call repeatedly stabbing myself in both of my thighs and slicing up my left arm mild. That's right, that's the problem.
Hey,
It's not
Chiaki, what do you think?
the girder, the blood on the girder.
Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle. Just like fixing an old TV.
Oh, I got it. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear. I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
Which section? Not the handle, the cord, the shaft.
I see.
That's
I
it.
keep- I'm
Instead
inappropriate
of the
playing this
handle,
game.
Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section About the same size as a human fist?
What? Because that's exactly what we said during the investigation.
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But here's what I don't understand. He was gripping that, and he dropped the spear. But wouldn't he have let go of it to drop the spear? If it was... I guess they'll explain how that worked, because it was hanging over the thing, right? So, like, unless he, like... You would think letting it go, the spear would then fall over and stab you. But, because if you, like, just lifted your arm, that wouldn't stab you hard enough, you know what I mean? So...
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
No, he did it over the girder, but I'm still confused about that.
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki?
Ooh, bird.
I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Nagito was gripping the cord extending from the butt of the spear with his left hand. But from there, how would he stab himself in the stomach with the spear? Come on, we know this.
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
At a time like this, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
That's a lot.
That's a long plan name.
It is.
One step at a time? What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned.
Nagito was facing up and the spear was stabbed through his stomach. So if it's just before that... That's it. Could it be the spear stabbed Nagito perpendicularly and he was holding the tip of the cord attachment? If I put these facts together along with what we found at the warehouse, think about it, I should be able to figure it out. Where the spear was and what state it was in before it stabbed Nagito. Oh, good lord, we're gonna do that thingy, aren't we? Yeah, I hate this. Okie dokie. Whee! Oh, that's that. How do we go faster? How do you go faster? Oh, control. I'm just waiting for it to, Question 1. Where was the spear? In Nagito's left hand, it was above. Well, the spear... No. The spear was above Nagito. The cord was... I was holding the wrong thing. The cord was in his left hand, but that's not the spear. Trick question. Ooh. Motherfucker. Fuck you, sons of bitches. You ain't gonna get me. Ah! Wee. Wee. Motherfucker! Question 2. Besides the spear, what else was above? Ceiling girder. Sprinklers, but I'm going with the ceiling girder. Woo! 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 Fuck you! Fuck you! Woo! Whoopsie, I fell. Meow. 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 Question 3. What item connects both the spear and the spear and the girder? The rope in Nagito's left hand, the rope in Nagito's right, the spear's cord. The rope on his hand. I was like, the rope in his hand or the spear's cord isn't the same thing. Rope on his hand. The cord. Whee!
It's all coming together.
It's all coming back to me now! There were nights when the winds were so cold.
The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up.
I was not
It
doing
must
something
have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Perpendicular. In the
If Nagito did
whoops,
that
sorry.
all by himself,
Sorry, can we go back?
did he have some
Did
sort
not
of
mean to.
ESP?
I accidentally hit the frickin' button. It's very sensitive sometimes.
That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
Hey, I figured that out. Don't take my credit.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support, he hoisted the spear directly above him.
But I don't understand how you're still holding it when it stabbed him.
And if Nagito let go of the cord, the
But-
spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
Oh, never mind. The blood on the cord is from when he stabbed himself in the arm. That's what it was. Okay.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
Right, because he had blood all over his hand.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling.
I was like, how would he have gotten... Duh, I forgot. We already know the blood splatter on his hand was from... Yeah, you guys are probably screaming at me. I'm like, duh.
So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
It's weird. Why did he kill himself, though?
Are you serious? He really committed suicide? Like that?
Obviously to lure out the traitor somehow, but...
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
True.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then this is for real? He really committed suicide? Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping the spear?
Yeah, that's commitment. But didn't I say that when we first started this? Or maybe I was just thinking in my head, like, he could have just done it himself. Like, stabbing yourself in the legs and then your right hand is free, but then how did you stab yourself? But, you know, we figured that out.
That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end. Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
See, I would have said he did the legs and then the arm, but, you know, whatever.
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth, too?
Probably.
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake. By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
That doesn't seem right.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
I feel like, I mean, I know he was a crazy asshole, but he kept trying to, I mean, unless he literally went crazy, like, that the whole point was him being like, I want everyone to know, but I'm gonna blow this place up unless the traitor comes forward and we all work together.
Did he want us to die that bad?
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
Jeez, and I was starting to feel a little sympathetic toward him. How stupid of me. I completely underestimated his capacity for malice. A mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he's died. That's the form his malice took. Again, they're saying now malice about as much as they're saying right. I'd forgotten all about that malice until now. Just kidding. If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right? Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
No, there's something...
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other. It tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
You are right, I suppose.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion. Bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so we'd be executed.
That should be okay, right? Right?
What? You're not satisfied yet?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense.
And also, this would be the shortest class trial.
It's probably just my imagination.
So there's got to be something else going on. Why? I mean, I sort of understand what she's talking about. I don't think it's a mistake to assume that Nagito committed suicide, but why do I feel so uneasy about it? I don't know, why do you feel uneasy about it? I think we're going to wrap this part up and we'll find out why everyone feels so uneasy in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.